Good morning to you.
Good morning.
I hope you're well.
Doing great, thank
Yes,
you.
yes.
A
It's
bit
nice to have.
tired, but
Uh, ah,
recovering.
I can imagine. You had a busy week
I
over the
did.
weekend.
It's a lot of work to host His Excellency the President. So, you know,
You have to be prepared for everything.
you have to be prepared for everything. He's a detail-oriented man. So,
Okay.
if you're having him at an event, you have to be sure that you're detail-oriented.
Okay.
Takes a lot of planning and preparation.
Okay. You have to tick all the boxes.
Absolutely, because he notices everything.
Oh,
And
really?
he will ask you.
Really?
Absolutely.
Okay. So you have to be sure that you're not getting anything wrong.
100%.
I see. We'll come to that particular project, the Green City project. That's big 1,000 housing units you're seeking to do. But first, let me start from the State Housing Company. I was just talking about what that means. State Housing Company Limited. We know it's state-owned. Explain to us what the company limited means.
Absolutely. So the company itself, it started as with most agencies or corporations under government control, right from pre-independence to independence. So originally it was under ordinance as the Gold Coast Housing Corporation.
Okay.
And then over the years, it transitioned into the State Housing Corporation.
Okay.
All of this time, it operated as the construction arm of government, right from colonial era. So all of the colonial housing, majority of them were built by a version of the State Housing Company in the past. And then leading into when the first government took over under Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, the State Housing Company was the lead developer across the country.
Okay.
The only difference was the Tema Enclave, where TDC was created specifically. So the rest of the country, all government housing, I would say 80-90% were built by the State Housing Corporation at the time. Leading up into 1995, by Act of Parliament, the company was converted into a limited liability company.
Okay.
So what this simply meant was that you moved away from being a subvented government agency into a standalone, commercially viable business.
Okay.
With limited by shares, and the shares were held by the people of Ghana through the government. So our number one shareholder, 100% shareholder, is the government. But on paper, the shares are held by the Ministry of Finance as the shareholder. So beyond that ownership, the company is just like any other commercial real estate development company, with a few differences here and there, just because of our history.
What are the differences?
Well, one of the differences being that because we were responsible for constructing most of the government housing estates, we transitioned into a commercial company with those assets under us, because we had built the houses, we had done the paperwork on them. The land was in the name of the State Housing Company. And so we continue to be the head lessees for majority of the government estates on behalf of the people and government of Ghana. So that's one of the differences. So all the states, Dansoman, Latibio Kwashi, where we are, Kanda.
Oh, you own properties here?
All over Ghana, Kalpohini estates in Tamale, Sunyani estates, all of them are estates that were built by State Housing and still fall under our management. And so we make sure that we execute the renewal of the head leases when they are due with the government, so that we can pass on that ownership to people who already live there, so that they have peace of mind in terms of their tenancy. And so that's one of the differences that we have. On the other hand as well, a lot of the land that we started with was originally passed on to us by government. So when the company was set up, instead of putting a bunch of money into it, mostly land was given to us to develop, so that cost was taken away from being added onto the selling prices. So that was one of the ways that government supported the establishment of the company. However, as a business, it's a commercial entity, generates its own revenue, pays its own staff and other expenses, and operates just like any other real estate developer. Yes.
How are you doing now?
I'm doing good. 2025 was a bit of a learning curve.
Okay.
Just to kind of understand where the company was and where
Okay.
it needed to go.
Okay.
As I mentioned before, it was a company that was doing fairly well,
Okay.
but a very small scale.
Okay.
And
Doing fairly well but playing small.
playing small,
Okay.
but doing well.
Give us an idea what that playing small and doing well means.
Okay, so since the company was created as an agency under government to date, we've estimated around 30,000 housing units that have been developed by the company
Okay.
to date.
Okay.
Over the last maybe 8-9 years, if you put all of the number of houses that the company has delivered by itself, we probably not even up to 2,000.
Okay.
So 28,000 estimated up until a short period, and then you understand the dynamic.
Okay.
Exactly. So being at that level, yes, you can be a viable company, you can pay dividends to government, but what is the core mandate of the company? You know, the vision of the company says that we want to be Ghana's most valued housing partner.
Okay.
We have a very clear mission to develop decent and affordable housing for Ghanaians in communities where they can have a sense of pride and place. How many communities have we developed in the last 10 years? How many major interventions have we brought in place that help reduce this deficit that is growing every day? Estimates put it either at 1.5, 1.8, over 2 million. The point is, we have a huge shortage of housing units.
Okay.
And State Housing Company Limited should be at the forefront of bridging that gap. And so you find that today there's a lot of housing projects ongoing, but majority of them don't go through state housing.
Okay.
We want to try and change that narrative. We want to place the company back in that driver's seat to lead that charge. There's a market for the private developers. And what we do is to kind of bridge the gap between, you know, where most people can't afford, because that 1.8 million gap is not in what we have on the market today.
Yes.
Once you cross $65,000, $75,000, $80,000,
most
you've
Ghanaians
wiped out maybe 90% of.
you even got too high, 65,000. Everybody
Well,
out of
you
that.
see, you have to be realistic.
Yeah.
The reality is that it costs money to build a house.
Okay.
You know, if Deftraco buys cement at this price, State Housing buys cement at the same price.
Okay. Yeah,
I don't get a special price for cement or iron rods.
Okay.
And the price is the price.
Okay.
So housing is expensive. Land is expensive. Labor is expensive.
Okay.
And so I believe that the market is reflecting what the case is.
Okay.
And this is where we also have an advantage.
Okay.
Because our drive is not necessarily profit.
Okay.
We should focus on supporting government to scale the delivery, whether it's by, you know, encouraging government to give us a bit more money when they haven't done so up until now, or bring in more pure private sector partners to join us in that regard. You know, and so this is one of the things that we are looking at, changing our approach a little bit to ensure that we can scale, you know, over the short to medium term.
That's interesting. So you're suggesting that in an era where you are needed the most, we are not
doing the most. And perhaps for good reason or not, but as it stands now, my marching orders were very clear.
Okay.
Find a way to scale up housing delivery and try to find a way to bridge the affordability gap in terms of people being able to pay for the housing, whether it's by trying to bring down the cost or by working with, you know, financial institutions to kind of create a way in which people can access, you know, more reasonable mortgage conditions and be able to pay over a longer term. So those are some of the things that but those were my two core orders when I was
supposed to do.
put in the job. and that's what I've been focusing on. But just to explain in a way, when you take over an organization and you have a plan of where you want to go,
Okay.
first of all, the organization itself has to be ready to support that growth, that expansion.
That's true.
And so a lot of 2025 was spent reorganizing the company, and human resources had to be rearranged to be more efficient. Our processes have to be optimized, systems have to be put in place, equipment has to be purchased. Sometimes even the right people to support that kind of growth need to be brought in to help augment the team. And in terms of your paperwork on your land ownership, all of that, because if somebody is coming to invest $2, $3, $4, $5 million in you, your house has to be in order. Your paperwork has to be in order. I can't go put a land forward as equity in an investment if I don't have all of the requisite paperwork. So all of those things we had to do, and we did quite a lot of that over the 2025 year. Another very important thing to His Excellency the President is that don't leave government money locked into projects. Because with construction, if you start a house and you don't finish it, nobody wins.
Do you have some houses you've started?
We have a lot of houses we've started. We have a lot of houses that we inherited, which part of the focus for last year was to find a way to ensure we completed
all of them.
Just to unlock the capital that has been sunken over time and not been unlocked. So a lot of last year was spent doing that. And so we started this year, and I remember my first staff there about this year with the team. I was like, okay, so you've had your first year. You understand what my expectations are. I understand what your expectations are. We've put things in place. This year is work. And to be fair, they've lived up to the challenge, and they've been very supportive.
Because you're getting to the middle of the year.
We're getting to the middle of the year, but a lot has happened. Even just to handle the volume of work that we are creating by expanding and pushing forward, we launched our 24-hour premium and express service center. Because you came and met a backlog of people. Imagine Greater Accra region alone. We have over 16,000 property owners, individual files. Just Greater Accra. And
16,000.
Over 16,000, just Greater Accra. You are managing their lease renewals. When somebody wants to give the house to his son, you are managing the paperwork. When somebody wants to build on it, extend their yard, you are managing. All of this is paperwork every day. And the volume is staggering. And it piles up sometimes. So we needed to bring in some new, systems to ensure that we move things along. So the 24-hour center is working round the clock, and things are moving a lot quicker. Just so that once we're doing 1,000 houses, 2,000 houses, we don't get a backlog of people waiting to get their, sale agreements, waiting to get their leases, so a lot of work has to go on in-house in order to prepare us for what's to come. And if for anything at all, we deliver an appreciable number of units, and by the time my time there is up, whoever is coming in has a strong base to even scale up higher, then I believe that my job is done.
Have you been able to complete the uncompleted projects you met?
Absolutely. As at the last check, at least this year, maybe 95% of all of the projects we inherited, we're getting out of the way. And like I said, it's not like a whole lot of houses. At the moment, we have maybe close to 300 units in various stages, which we have resolved to complete this year. And we are on track to do that.
Well, listening to you, I get a sense that when you walked there, it was not what you expected to see. Because having heard of the company, State Housing Company, you expected them to have been doing much, much, much more. Were you disappointed in any way?
No, actually. I was pleasantly surprised, I would say. And I mean, from my background, I do quite a bit of research on everything that I want to do. And so I did, do some digging on the company, looked at what they'd been doing. And like I mentioned earlier, it is not a bad company. It's a well-run company. It's been doing okay. Like with all places, there are issues that can be fixed. You find that everywhere, and even in the private sector. So I don't dwell too much on that. But the problem was the skill or the lack of skill.
Mhm.
For whatever reason,
Mhm.
the lack of skill was a major problem.
Okay.
And so that became my focus. The
Mhm.
team there is strong. The people love the company. They love where they work.
Mhm.
They're very well taken care of. And we're looking for ways to even improve that.
Okay.
But again, it's a function of skill.
Mhm.
If the company makes more houses, makes more margin,
Mhm.
everybody can be more comfortable.
Okay.
And that's so I wasn't disappointed.
Okay.
In a way, I had an idea what I was walking into,
Mhm.
and basically it fit that this was a company that had the potential to do more.
Okay.
So I saw it for what it was, which is that I can take this group of people and do a whole lot more with it. And that's what I'm
Contextualize a whole lot more for us, because you're talking about a housing deficit of over a million,
Yes.
running into 2 million. Within that context, what is a whole lot more for you at the state housing company?
Well, it's a relative discussion, right?
Okay.
We're looking at, for example, this year, as I said, we're finishing up most of the houses that
Okay.
people have already deposited for and things like that. We're around 300 houses. We set ourselves a very ambitious target that by the time we leave office, we would deliver close to 3,000 housing units.
Okay.
Now, if you look at what we've been delivering up until now,
Mm-hmm.
and 3,000 units, that's a huge jump.
Yeah.
And so that is an example of how quickly you can scale up if you set up the right partnerships. If you bring on board the right people, you can scale up very quickly. And that's what I mean when I say, a whole lot more than the company was doing before. Is what I mean. Yes.
Is the focus more on, because if you look at the income of many of the people who are within that deficit gap, most of them are unable to afford the houses. Like you're saying, realistically, to be above the budget of many Ghanaians. Are you focusing more on building for rentals or building for sale? What's the approach that you're thinking about?
We focus purely on building for sale.
Okay. The focus is on building
for sale as State Housing Company Limited.
Okay.
The reason being that we are not at this point financially where we can carry debt over a long term or medium term.
Okay.
And so, and as I mentioned, we are not a subvented agency.
Okay.
And so,
you're not subvented?
Not at all.
Really?
We are 100% IGF.
Okay.
So we generate our own revenue
and use
we
it.
finance our own projects.
Okay.
And so projects are financed with a combination of internally generated funds from our estate management and deposits from customers.
Okay.
So when you have such a system, so by the time I'm finishing the house and getting paid for it, it's somebody who's paid for the house. And so what I retain is the margin that I make on top of the cost.
And in your case, it has to be a small margin.
Well, we try to keep it small. At least when I came in, we had a very clear policy with my team that look, wherever we go, we must always strive to be between 25 to 40% cheaper than the market.
Okay, 25 to 40%
cheaper than the comparatives in that area.
Okay.
The affordability discussion is a very loosely used term in Ghanaian real estate. Affordability is an extremely relative term.
Okay.
Unfortunately, most of the time we mix it up with social housing.
Okay.
Social housing is a completely different thing, and that is usually led at government level because it requires a lot of government intervention to deliver social housing.
Okay.
So, like I said, we buy cement at the same price. So unless there is some direct intervention, either via tax breaks, via investment in infrastructure, via investment in, actual direct cash injection, or by even committing to offtake at our selling price, but absorb the difference of selling or passing it on to lower income buyers. You know what I mean?
I understand.
So basically, that's the balance that we have to work with at State Housing Company Limited.
I see. If you just join us, we are discussing State Housing Company Limited. In fact, many of you have a view of what it's supposed to be. So that's why I've been asking the initial question, just to get some clarity on what you do.
The affordability is a big one, Senna. It's a very, very big issue.
Okay.
What is affordable in Laboni is very different from what is affordable in Oyarifa.
Okay.
And that is just basic. Real estate is three things: location, location, location.
Okay.
There's no way you can get away from that.
From the location aspect of the argument.
Location, location, location. Those are the three most important things in real estate.
Mm. Well,
Anybody will tell you that.
his name is John Esbaugh. He's managing director of the State Housing Company Limited. Then the project that attracted a lot of attention. In fact, when I saw first time they gave me the announcement to do, I look at it, I said, hey, 1,000 is a lot too. But I wonder, within the scope of what you intend to do, where does the Green City project fall? How did it come up? Is it your idea or you inherited it? How did the whole thing start?
Okay. So the land on which the project is being constructed was given to us by His Royal Majesty Dotun.
Okay.
He donated that land to the government, I think, close to 16 years ago.
Oh, really?
Yes. But over the years, ministry and government hadn't utilized the land.
Okay.
I'm assuming priorities were different at the time.
Okay.
So when we took over office,
Mhm.
in my first official visit to him, it was a very direct question that I gave you land over how many years ago? Nobody has done anything with it.
Mhm.
I expect you to do something about it.
Okay.
It was quite straightforward. But it fit in also nicely with what we had planned, which is to
Okay.
do scaled development.
Okay.
And so it didn't beat the stretch of imagination to say that, look, we have a 200-acre land
Mhm.
donated to us.
Okay.
We want to scale and deliver a higher number of housing units.
Okay.
Let's go for it. And that's what we did. Now, the Green City name, like I spent a part of my life in Kumasi. I went to high school in Prempeh College.
Oh, okay.
So I'm a Sofoline boy.
Okay.
Now, Kumasi is known for its lush vegetation.
Okay.
It's a garden city,
Mm.
you know, everywhere is green. And so the history of the name is from the representative of the lushness of the vegetation
Oh.
in the Ashanti region and in Kumasi.
Okay.
On top of that, as you know, part of His Excellency, the President's vision
Mhm.
is to integrate sustainability in everything that we do.
Okay.
And so part of what we do is to ensure that we incorporate elements. So if you look at our plans,
Mhm.
there's an element of it where we are working with a private partner to develop what we call eco housing units.
Okay.
And these are purely eco design houses that have compressed earth blocks, come in with solar installation and whatnot. And as my deputy minister always says, trees, plant
Okay.
a lot of trees
Okay.
so that you maintain the coolness of the environment. And so we expect that it's green because it's representative of where we are developing it,
Okay.
but it's also green because we integrate as much as possible sustainable practices in the development.
I see. That's quite interesting. So you're looking at so how many of the houses do you anticipate to be eco houses?
So what normally, at least my approach in business is that you must always have a proof of concept.
Okay.
And so we developed the project. It's 1,067 units, give or take, on the current scheme
Okay.
over a 60-month period.
Okay.
We've committed to a phase one,
Mhm.
which is 214 units,
Okay.
made up of 2 and 3 bedroom houses.
Okay.
Of these 214 units,
Mhm.
a number of them are going to be our traditional build,
Okay.
which is our designs and standard that majority
We
of
use
Ghanaians
nowadays,
have
yeah.
come to love and are used to.
Okay.
We have another portion, which is about 100 units,
Mhm.
which are being developed using the precast technology, which is expected to not only bring down our cost a little bit,
Mhm.
but also to accelerate the delivery because that method of construction is very fast.
Okay.
And
Explain
then-
the precast.
So in construction, you have different types of concrete works. So you
Okay.
have prefab,
Mhm.
which the panels are fabricated in a factory, transported to site, and put together like a Lego or jigsaw puzzle.
Okay.
And then you have precast, which the molds are designed, brought to site, and then the rebar and concrete are poured in.
Okay.
So we're doing a precast model,
Okay.
which, you know, you can put up a shell and core in 45 days, as an example.
45 days.
I've seen it happen.
I see.
It's possible to
that's
put
very
up a
fast.
shell and core in 45 days
Oh, I
with
see.
the precast technology.
Okay.
it's fast, but it's not necessarily cheaper.
Okay.
And we have to maintain the balance between speed and cost,
Okay.
because ultimately people have to afford our houses.
Mm.
And then we have the third side, which will do about 65 units,
Okay.
which is the eco houses.
Okay.
So these are going to be built with compressed earth blocks,
Okay.
so that there's a very strong cooling feature. You probably don't even need AC in your house. And then the package comes with a solar installation as well,
Okay.
so that you can maybe not go off grid fully, but be able to manage your bills as well. And we're designing a system that will give a minimum 10 to 12 hour cover when you're off grid. And so what we tried to do was to design phase one to kind of show all the types of construction we want to bring to that area.
Okay.
And based on the success of whichever model, because in Ghana, we're very set in our ways. We like what we like. People come in and the first thing they do is knocking your walls. Oh, we're heading,
Yeah.
So we like a certain look,
Okay.
and we expect a certain type of build. And so we want to also test the acceptability of the different models, and that will inform
what you do in
the wider area. So
Okay.
for example, if we realize that the precast is a very high quality house. They have a minimum 50-year lifespan.
Okay.
Before you even start to have to deal with anything. And they
50
have a
years.
very effective solution to one of the biggest problems we have in construction in Ghana, which is the rising dump.
Okay.
With the pH, the alkalinity in the soil, rising in the walls, because we use the concrete blocks. When the salt in the water goes up, it disintegrates the bonding in the cement.
Okay.
So that's why you have your house, then it's peeling. And when you use the precast, it solves that problem.
Okay.
You don't even have to deal with that.
Okay.
And so when we finish phase one, which we are committed to delivering before the end of next year, whichever ones are the most successful models and the most desirable, because ultimately you're building for a customer, you're building for a population. If you build something they don't want, they're not going to buy it.
Okay.
And so that would inform what we would do. So if we do the percentage and we see that, okay, 20% of buyers want eco housing, then for the remaining 800 or so units, 20% of it will be eco housing, 40% will be this, that, because you need to go into these things with an informed view.
Okay.
You don't go in blind. Otherwise, you end up with a project that, yes, you've started building, nobody's buying. And if nobody's buying, you don't have money to build more.
Yes.
And then it becomes a stalled project. Then, government cuts sword. We don't do anything. We're trying to make sure that we deliver what we say we will as a company.
Because you're also talking about, and I appreciate your careful approach, well calculated approach. But then the question of, yes, there is land at Dedesua, but is that the demand? Do you believe that there will be people who are there who will take it up? Because I am from the Volta region. If I have money, I will move to Ashanti really easily like that. I have to be very heavily convinced. So were you convinced that you'll be able to have people who will take it?
Absolutely. Our feasibility study showed that we will have people who will take it. Our team went out to Kumasi, to Ashanti region, because even before we go into kind of even developing the types of housing and what product we need to put in there, we need to understand what is the market buying around there. How much are they buying at? Where do we sit? What do they expect of us? And so this one is maybe on a good day, 20 minutes from the CBD of Kumasi.
Oh, 20 minutes?
On a good day, on a Saturday or on a Sunday, it's 20 minutes from the airport runabout in Kumasi.
Okay.
On a bad day, it's 45 minutes to an hour with traffic.
It's the same around Accra, usually.
So we're not building in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And it's a very highly developed area. Like you have, properly surface road all the way to the location. So it's actually a very desirable location.
Okay.
And since we advertise that location, land values are shooting up because people realize that this is the next phase of Kumasi's development or Ashanti development. And so demand-wise, I'm not worried. I think the biggest challenge is ensuring that we deliver value for money.
Okay.
not cheap housing, because there's no such thing
As
as a cheap house, because the price of cement is not different for anybody. So there's no such thing as a cheap house. Anybody who tells you that is leading you down the wrong path. The cost is the cost. You can't run away from it. Our margins we reduce because we have a mandate. And as you heard during my speech, I made a special request to the president that if they can capture our horizontal infrastructure, which is the roads, drainage, sewage, under the big push, it helps us even apply that savings to the price of the houses, so that we can even be closer to our 40% below market price in that area.
Did you get any assurance from the president?
Absolutely. You know I put him on the spot a little bit, but he was gracious enough to agree. And it's not a big budget compared to the scale of projects that are under the big push. And it'll go a long way, because the quicker we can get the area properly laid out, all the roads and drainage done, you can even have a lot more private developers come, and we might even do more than the 214 in the 18 months that we've set ourselves. Because as we speak, we have people calling us every day. Oh, look, I have money. Can I come and join you at the day? So I will invest. How many houses do you want me to do?
People are ready to put money up.
People are ready to put money into housing. And people trust state housing. People trust the legacy that we have, the quality that we deliver. And so people want to partner with us. And one of the most important things we have is the offtake. You know, when you go into a real estate project, is land and offtake. The other is money. But when you have land and you have offtake, money becomes an easy discussion. Because the investor knows the land is secure. If I put my money on the land, there's also somebody ready to buy.
To take it,
And we've had a lot of work with, you know, our major partners like Republic Bank, whom we have an operating framework with them, where they have customers coming in that they would provide mortgages for to offtake. We're in talks with Petra Trust, who have a portfolio of over 500,000 pension fund holders who are interested in off-taking our project. So if you have both things, it's very easy to find money to put into the project.
Because I was coming to ask you where the money will come from.
In, I'll get it back, because there are buyers waiting to buy. You know, we have National Home Ownership Fund. You heard the president talk about the 3 billion revolving fund that they were going to set up with Republic Bank, which will then be geared towards providing mortgage for Ghanaians to be able to buy houses from us as we produce them. So if you have the land, there's no litigation. You heard the warning that the Mampohene gave on behalf of the Otumfo. So nobody is coming to worry you on that land. And then you have offtake.
That's all.
It's not rocket science.
So the money is not the problem. Funding
at this stage
is not your problem.
I think the bigger problem is not, taking on too many people. Because if you have too many cooks in the kitchen as well, it spoils the soup, and supervision from our side becomes a bit more difficult. So one of the challenges is making sure that we partner with the right people. So the first phase, we're pretty tight on what we're going with, because like I said, we went into this with our eyes open. We had a very clear plan. So before going to stand there and announce the 214, we knew exactly how we were going to deliver them, so that we don't promise and then make excuses later on. And so that's how we approach it. So at this stage, I won't say that the funding, it's not like I have the money sitting in the company. Like I said, it's not a big company. We don't have money sitting in the company. But we have the land and we have the offtake agreement. And that is a good business decision for any investor.
I see. So for you, it will not be difficult for you, based on what you have at hand, to go to an investor and say, give me money.
I have
I'll
land,
deliver value
I
for
have
you.
offtake. Yes.
I see. That's interesting. Is government bringing anything at all? You're talking about 3 billion revolving fund.
Government is coming to do our roads and our drainage, as was announced by His Excellency the President. And so that will go a long way. Usually in such projects, the horizontal infrastructure would cost anything between 15 and 20%, depending on where you are developing. So depending on how much access road you have to create, how much drainage you have to do, the terrain, all of that feeds into it. So if you
15
get
to
that covered,
20% of the cost.
sometimes even more.
Okay.
If you go to the middle of nowhere, it can be 35%.
Okay.
You know, it depends. You have to
Okay.
bring electricity. If there's no electricity in the area, you have to have electricity brought in, water, all of that, even sewage. Imagine 1,000 homes at an average of 4 per family. You know, that's how many, 1,000 people living there, and we're all generating waste. How to even treat that waste is something we are thinking about today before we get there. And so you need a proper treatment facility there, either to recycle some of that waste for the greenery and other ways. So these are all things you have to think about for a project of this scale. And so that's why we are approaching it that way.
And your empirical approach means that you're doing a whole scientific assessment of what you're doing as you go along.
You have to.
Okay.
You can't take a chance. You can't just go and put it there and then expect it to succeed. You have to do the planning. That's why we are in the job.
Okay.
You know, it's not just about, I have money, I'm going to build a house here. There's a whole lot that goes into it. That at least if you want to do it properly, you have to think about all of those aspects.
Yeah. Do you have a time frame within which you want to deliver this project?
Yes, very clear time frame.
Okay.
The whole project, we've given ourselves 60 months.
Okay.
But phase 1, 2, and 4 units, absolutely critical. Q4 next year, we're delivering phase 1.
Next year?
Yes, end of 2027. We're delivering the 2 and 4 units, phase 1.
Your target is 2027, end year?
Yes, for the 2 and 4 units.
Have you started already?
We just broke ground on Saturday.
Okay.
We have all of our drawings. We have BOQs. Our site office is being delivered. Today is the 13th. By the end of this week,
it will be delivered by
the site office. It's a prefab container office that we're starting with. Is being delivered by the end of this week.
So you hope that, okay, so because your tenure at this point is tied to that of the person in power. Okay, so do you plan to do all those if all things go well before you leave office? Would you be able to deliver 1,000 units?
The DSWA is not scheduled to be completed in total by 2028. That's not realistic.
Okay.
If it happens, great, but that's not a realistic target.
Okay.
Like I said, our initial commitment is the 214 by the end of next year.
Okay. So
which will then inform
what
the
you
next
do next
phase.
Okay.
But we don't expect to wait till the end of next year to start the next phase.
Okay.
Like I said, we have a lot of interest from different investors who are coming in. So what we're trying to do is to select investors who have slightly more patient capital.
Okay.
So I don't want partners who come and say, yes, we can invest with you, but we need our return in 3 years. I need people who can commit to a longer period, minimum 5 years.
Okay.
Because we believe that if we have the funding, the project can continue.
Okay.
But we try to refrain from speaking to things we don't have concrete plans of.
Okay.
At this moment, we have a very clear, achievable plan. We've chopped it up. So keep in mind, alongside the DSWA, we have many other projects ongoing.
Because I was coming there.
Pokwase is, about to start. This was a project that was conceived under the previous administration.
Okay.
It stalled. We've found a way to reactivate our portion of it, and that's about to go live very soon.
Okay.
That's another major project.
Okay.
It's even delivering more houses. It's just that they're apartments, because it's a city dwelling. We have many projects that are going on alongside the DSWA.
Tell me more about this Pokwase project.
Yes. So originally, there was about a 200-acre land that was for government. So they developed a housing scheme where they divided it into 5 lots for different developers. State Housing Company was one of them. So we got a 40-acre lot. The idea behind it was to deliver around 8,000 apartment units in the city center, because in Pokwase, just off the interchange. Okay. So it's a very good location, strategic location.
Okay.
The plan at the time was for government to provide the horizontal works.
Okay.
So all of the roads, all of the drainage, all of the electricity, water was supposed to be handled by government.
Okay.
And we, the developers, were supposed to do the verticals.
Okay.
So actually, State Housing even started.
Okay.
But then the horizontals never came. Under the previous administration, it never happened. So it was to the extent that because they were going to do the horizontals, they
Mhm.
actually set the selling prices for us. And they
Oh.
were displayed in the newspapers and everything.
Your selling prices were
Were
already
set
known.
by government at the time for that project because they were going to do the horizontals. And
Okay.
they were in the newspapers everywhere.
Okay.
But it never came.
Okay.
So the project stalled because the developer won't put their money in. Even you can't sell a house if there's no road to get to it.
Okay.
So everybody stalled. But with the help of the minister, we were able to re-engineer our 40 acres where we are poised. We have a financing contractor. We are just finalizing a few paperwork items.
Okay.
And then we're going to go back to site to work on that project and do our own horizontal infrastructure. The only problem is
You
that
do it yourself.
we'll add it to the cost of the project. Like I said, the cost is the cost.
But
you can't run away from it.
You have in office someone who seemed to have given you clear matching orders.
Yes.
If the former administration did not do it for perhaps your predecessor, have you have the discussions with your minister and subsequent discussions about whether they can still take it up and do it?
Absolutely. And it's a project that is very dear to the Honourable Minister Kennedy's heart.
Okay.
The challenge that he's faced with and which he's handling extremely well is that what the bigger issue is all the issues we have about flood control in the country.
Okay.
And that is taking a lot of chunk of his budget to deal with those issues. And you know of all the projects like Blekusu, Sea Defense,
yes,
you know, the Garrett project in Accra. These are like capital intensive projects. You know, that make it extremely difficult for him to manage to put, you know, more money into other projects. But the good thing is he has given us all of his support, and because of the location of that site, if we get our pricing mix correctly, we should be able to do full cost recovery on that project.
Okay.
Because playing with the numbers and looking at the comps in the area for other developers, even if we come in at 20-25% cheaper, we should be able to do full cost recovery even with the cost of the infrastructure embedded.
So realistically, what you have is a situation where you have now accepted that you have to do the horizontal and the vertical work yourself.
That's what we're working towards. If along the way after the day, so His Excellency the President sees that we delivered what we promised and sees that, oh, these guys, if I put more money behind them, they will deliver. He might offer to come and do Pokwasi as well. Then we can reduce the price even more.
But you say you're ready to take off Pokwasi. So Pokwasi, how many housing units are you doing?
So the plan
as part of the project
is to deliver, I think, 1,544 apartment units. So have 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom apartment units.
Okay.
In that community. And the first phase will do at about 8 blocks. So that would deliver close to 500 apartment units. Again, we want to break it up into chunks that we can deliver so people can start to access. You know, so a joke in the office was when the project was conceived, it was called the Pokwasi Affordable Housing Project. So when I was communicating it from when I took over, I said they should drop the affordable and say Pokwasi Housing Project. Because if I'm doing full cost recovery, I don't want to be challenged by people that, but you said it's affordable. Yes, it's affordable for Pokwasi because it's 25% below what private developers are selling to Pokwasi. That's what makes it affordable. Not because it's cheap. Because cheap means I'm cutting corners. Cutting corners means I'm not delivering value for you. You know,
I see. This is quite an interesting one. So Pokwasi, you are looking at Dedesua.
And then we have smaller ones that are still
projects
ongoing.
that you are looking
Another big one that I am very encouraged about is, you know, one of the things His Excellency spoke about often was that, you know, old government estates were very spaced out. At the time, we have no problem with land and density. So you find, for example, you take Kanda Estates, you take Kaneshi Estates, you have apartment buildings, they are so spaced out. So much dead space.
Yes.
You know, and so one of the things that he charges all of his appointees in the housing sector is to look at ways of repurposing them so we can increase the density in those places. So we've just started one pilot. You know, doing regeneration is a very sensitive one because you have people who have lived in these estates for generations and relocating them without a viable alternative. For example, if I live in Kanda Estate, my parents live there, I was born there, and you come and tell me that we are redeveloping the area, I'm giving you a house in Dodowa. People are not going to take that kindly. So what we are trying to do is to demonstrate how we believe it should be done. Again, we are the nation's #1 builder. We should be leading the narrative. And so in Kaneshi Estates, what we've done we had one block that was mostly housed we're housing staff in it. So we relocated our staff. We've pulled down that building and we are developing a 100-unit apartment building. The plan being that we're going to relocate all the people in the old ones
to the apartment.
So they are in the same area, the same sizes, more modern, and then we can carry on the redevelopment on the rest of it. I mean, that might be beyond my time, but at least we'll start it.
But you clearly have a vision for even that. The approach is amazing. Anyway, I know I have to let you go soon. But before that, I hear you're doing some reclamation and regularization exercise. Exactly what are you doing? What's the problem?
So I mentioned that we manage all of the government estates. The land administration is under the State Housing Company Limited. And so when we came into office, we realized that we were collecting maybe 50% or so, 50 to 60% of the revenue we were supposed to generate from our clients. So people that hold our leases, ground rent, development charges, and things like that, they were simply not paying because there's a mentality that is government, so why should I pay? So we've been embarking on an education drive. We even ran a campaign where we did a discount to encourage people to come and pay. And we are now moving towards the enforcement stage of that. And so people that didn't take advantage of that, we are moving forward because this is money that government needs. For example, we renewed our head leases in Teshinungwa, Kaneshi, Achimota, and it cost us money to renew it. And so if you don't pay your ground rent, we don't know how we're supposed to renew the head lease so you can continue to enjoy your property. And so that process is something that we started in October last year, and it's supposed to ensure that people understand their obligations as lessees of State Housing Company Limited and pay out what they're supposed to, so we can continue to guarantee them peace of mind.
So they've been living in the houses and not paying what they're supposed to?
We have people that have been living in the houses for 20, 30 years. They haven't been paying their ground rent.
It means that you have not been great, what do you call it, landlords.
Well, because that's an admission I'm happy to make, and we are working towards getting better.
Improving.
There's a balance. We have people that are civil servants, they've retired, they're old, so sometimes you have to approach these things with some sensitivity. Like I always say that we are not in the business of taking people's homes away from them. Our mandate is to give people homes. So we have to approach it in a balanced manner, being a state-owned company.
A few questions from Michael Nulamegwe says, ask him if he can consider building for rent monthly or 6 months as the law says. There's Kofi Ara says, please ask him the minimum deposit for a 2-bedroom apartment. And there's also the question of whether you have houses currently for sale. If I want to buy a house from you, what happens? Do I have to find the money in bulk and come and put on your table? Exactly what's the arrangement like?
So, as I mentioned before, one of the things we tried to do when we came in was to find a way to bridge the financing gap. And so we have arrangements with Republic Bank, with EcoBank, where if you come in and you don't have all of the money, we have a mortgage services department that will help you to apply for a mortgage, which will pay us for the house, and then you can move in and pay them gradually. I mentioned earlier that we are not capital strong enough to carry debt over a long-term period. So just logically, financially, we cannot afford to build the house and hold it and take rent for like a rent-to-own model. But the good thing is that under our ministry, there are agencies that are mandated to do that. We have the Public Servants Housing Loan Scheme, National Home Ownership Fund. All of these are there to support people to finance the homes. Our mandate is to make sure we deliver enough homes at the right cost. And there are other agencies mandated to help more people to access those homes. But for people that want to buy directly, They can always contact our sales team. Our website is live and active. Our offices are all over the country. You can come in at any time. There will be somebody ready to help you. Deposits vary. If we are starting the project, we normally spread your payments over the life cycle of the construction period. So by the time we finish the house, we hope that you are ready to finish paying so we can give you the house. Otherwise, we can't build the next house, and so, but once you reach out to us, we able to help you with the process. But there's no secret to buying a house from State Housing.
Okay.
It's not a cartel. It's not a secret process. We are very visible. We're trying to even be more visible. We actually have a very good project going on at Tamara here, the Search Home project, delivering 195 gated community 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, and 4-bedroom houses. We are around, at least as we speak, this year we are delivering close to 140 of them ready.
This year.
Okay. We already have a lot of people who have even finished paying. We just finished doing the drainage. The roads are in progress now. We're actually planning an open house in June. June ending, where our sales team will be doing a big open house event. People can visit, to look at what we have there and, talk to our sales team. But we'll communicate that through the media.
It seems even before you finish the project, people already know about it, then
absolutely
start paying.
Absolutely.
I see.
Absolutely. People hear a rumor that we're about to do a redevelopment project in Adenta. We haven't even finished signing the contract. Somebody came and wanted to pay a deposit. But this speaks to the legacy that the company has and the trust that people have that if I put money in State Housing, I won't lose it. I'll get my product. And we try to live up to that expectation. One more thing I wanted to add is that there's a whole new market that we're working towards accessing, which is the diaspora market.
Okay.
We have a lot of Ghanaians living in diaspora.
Yeah. In fact, one of the people who asked the question,
the president spoke about how people send money to their cousin and their brother. They go and take pictures of somebody's house and they come and there's nothing on the ground. Part of what we're doing for marketing the Deswa Pokwase to the wider Ghanaian community around the world, we're also introducing the service where you can pay us to build for you.
Okay.
And that we will take it out to Ghanaians in diaspora because you know that with State Housing Company,
you deliver.
Government is not taking your money anywhere.
Yeah. So you're going to get to the point where when somebody, the person already owns the land.
It's possible. We can look at it.
Okay.
Yes.
The person will pay
you. You do a design with you. We do that actually currently in some of our regional offices. But in that case, we have the land, but you come with your designs, we price it out, and then we build it for you.
Great.
We do that a lot.
Yes. Yeah. Anyway, let me conclude by asking you, when they called you first, John, you are going to State Housing. I wonder what, because he said you had to do some research yourself. Your feeling at the time and how you feel now 1 year after, differences?
Not really, because fortunately, I have had opportunity even during opposition to have discussions around housing with His Excellency the President, and we always knew that if I ventured into public service, it would be in the real estate sector. So I wasn't too surprised because we had talked about it, and we have a desire, a wish, which at the moment is still a wish between him and I, that the day we're able to break delivering a 2-bedroom single-family home in Ghana under $35,000 is the day we know we fixed the housing problem in Ghana.
$35,000.
That is a dream that he and I have discussed. We are nowhere near that.
The numbers.
But this is something we've talked about. And we know that is like, we call it the holy grail of real estate. Yeah. Because when you look at the deficit, that is where the majority is. So the day we're able to break that barrier, we would have fixed Ghana's housing problem, but maybe not in my time. Maybe not in my time.
Oh, fantastic! That would be great.
He's setting the foundation through his appointees that one day soon
we'll get there.
The economy is doing better. Interest rates are coming down. Eventually, construction costs are going to come down. We have hope that we'll get there. We are not there yet, but one day we'll get there.
It will be glad to speak to you again. Thank you. Thank you very much for making time to join us in the studio.
It's a pleasure.
And wish you all the best.
Thank you very much for having me, Stella. And thanks to all your listeners as well.
John Bawa is MD, State Housing Company Limited. Listening to him this morning. In fact, you've helped with the idea of social housing as against what you're
Affordable
doing, because people
housing.
sometimes assume that you are what you do is also social housing,
Yes.
but they are two different things.
Absolutely.
Anyway, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll turn to other issues. But thank you.
Thank you very
for-
much.
Yeah.